everyone. Today we have Yash with us. So he is a master student studying at UT Dallas. So yes, can you brief us about your profile?
I'm Yash. I'm a graduate student at UT Dallas, and I'm currently going to graduate in summer 2019, and would be joining one of the top four companies and companies in the US, and I before this I worked with SAP, and
Mhm.
I'm also currently working with a company here which is called Zimperium, which is a very good company in terms of mobile security. I do back end development for them,
Mhm.
back end and front end full stack development for them in React and Java, Spring Boot, and and previously I'm looking forward to working in after this I'm looking forward to working in more scalable software engineering fields to develop my software skills.
Mhm.
Now, a bit about my undergrad. I did my undergrad in Gujarat,
Mhm.
in Gujarat Technological University, and then meanwhile, during my undergrad, I used to work as an Android developer. So basically, I'm a self-taught Android developer myself, and I used to come. I use how it all started is that I used to go to Google Developers Group, a community of developers in Gujarat, in my hometown where I'm from, that is Padodara, and there I met people who were doing Android development, and it acted as a bridge between me and other professionals in the industry
Mhm.
who taught me about how to go about the whole process of learning Android development.
Mhm.
And then after like around 3 to 4 years during of working as an Android developer with some startups
Mhm.
and making my own couple of apps
Mhm.
for uh, on the Play Store,
Mhm.
I got fascinated by this facet of data science and the idea of like how machines learn on their own. And
Mhm.
then I took a course, and then I luckily got an internship with a company called Bank Novo, which
Mhm.
is a very good finance. It's a financial tech startup, and they have a very good mission of building businesses, building banking simpler for small businesses here in the US.
Mhm.
And I worked as a machine learning developer for them. I made a credit score model for them. I used to work on a chatbot. So I did some natural language processing
Mhm.
and got the actual in-depth knowledge of how things work in data science,
Mhm.
right? To get the fundamentals right for over a year, for around 7 months.
Mhm.
And then I started my master's program, and I got an intern like after a year I got an internship opportunity with SAP
Mhm.
Concur, and there I worked on big data technologies because I realized that okay, only machine learning data science is not something that's helpful.
Mhm.
But if you have if you have software engineering skills to build a very highly scalable system,
Mhm.
then the power of those machine learning or data science models becomes much more better,
Mhm.
right, and efficient for serving a lot of people,
Mhm.
right? So that was my motivation behind it. And yeah, that's it about me. So I'm looking forward to now learning skills of building a scalable system in terms of cloud technologies.
That's great, 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 Yash. So
Yeah,
you have a very good profile, and you gave a better insight of how things have started and how did
yeah,
what things that you have acquired during your undergrad and what motivated
yeah,
you to go for masters and what are your current learnings and what are you looking forward to it. Okay,
yeah.
so I will be asking you some few questions and we shall begin. Tell us about how you have got an internship at SAP and how an individual can get an internship or what are the process through which an individual can break into some big MNC firm at USA.
Question, like, there are multiple, so there's not like one standard way of getting an internship,
Mm-hmm.
but uh, so the normal process is you go online
Mm-hmm.
on LinkedIn, you be active on LinkedIn and you find jobs
Mm-hmm.
using LinkedIn Jobs, Indeed,
Mm-hmm.
and you apply.
Mm-hmm.
And for that, you just need to fill out an online form. And then if the resume is selected, they contact you back. So that's how the normal process works. Now, the online process is more like, it's more it's more like a black hole. So you put in your resume, you don't you don't get back response, and you are not even sure that you will hear back. So the best thing that I would suggest to anyone who is starting to look for an internship or is looking for an internship in the US, they should try, like, they should try something different, I would say, than just the normal thing. Like, because getting internship for international student is hard, because the companies also want local talent
Mm-hmm.
first, right?
Correct.
Because we are unsure about our work authorization for the
Mm-hmm.
future, right?
Yes.
So that's one reason that even when we have good resumes, we might not get a call,
Mm-hmm.
right? So what I personally did was I tried the normal approach
Mm-hmm.
for a couple of months,
Mm-hmm.
and then I found that okay, this is not going to work so well. So what I did is I used to go to meetups.
Mm-hmm.
So, and here in the US, we have lots of meetups in the local community, local area,
Mm-hmm.
and you can find them on meetup.com
Mm-hmm.
basically. And uh, just spend your, so if you have a weekend free, just spend your weekend going to a meetup. It's like 1 or 2 hours, right?
Mm-hmm.
And anyone can take out that much time
Mm-hmm.
for going to a meetup. What that enabled me
Mm-hmm.
personally was that it 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 helped me, meet people
Mm-hmm.
from various areas and
Mm-hmm.
gain knowledge from them,
Mm-hmm.
to familiarize with the US work culture as well,
Mm-hmm.
as in like how the recruiting process works. Then another thing you can do is so that builds that's one point, building your network, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a very important thing. Second thing, whenever you meet someone, make sure to follow up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you meet someone, let's say I met you, I'd say, hi Pushpak, how are you? And then I talk to you a lot, and then about the work that I've done, and I get to know the work that you have done,
Mm-hmm.
right? And after that, I don't even contact you.
Yeah.
It won't look, you might forget, because you also have lots of work to do, right? If you are
Mm-hmm.
from some company. So networking is very important,
Mm-hmm.
and more important is the follow up, right?
Okay.
So follow up with them, just like ask them how they are doing. Don't overdo it, because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I've seen people overdo it, like they'll just bug someone, and then it it uh it makes the other person feel like, okay, they're being followed and watched all the time. So
Mm-hmm.
don't make that, but don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
uh, what I would suggest is, so that's one point, networking, right? That helps a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a bit unconventional approach,
Mm-hmm.
but it works, right?
Okay.
And then second thing was to practice. So you
Mm-hmm.
must have the skills ready. So
Yeah.
if you get an interview, you must have your skills ready. And in terms of preparation, I think we can talk about it later in
Yeah.
another question.
Right.
But what I would say is, how I did it was that I wasn't good at competitive coding.
Mm-hmm.
I had made very good projects and stuff,
Yeah.
but and I worked in good technologies, but I didn't have that exposure of competitive coding, that is data structure and algorithms
Okay.
foundation,
Mm-hmm.
because I didn't need to while I
Mm-hmm.
was in India.
Mm-hmm.
Here the need arose, and I realized, okay, this is a very very important thing,
Mm-hmm.
to have our foundations of our data structure and algorithms clear.
Mm-hmm.
So make sure you are ready when it comes. So practice well. Take
Okay.
some time, like make it a discipline to practice. And the other thing I would say, how I got my internship personally was like I was practicing on a website. There are lots of like new websites coming on for mock interviews nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
So I was practicing doing a mock interview on premp.com,
Mm-hmm.
which is also a very, very good website if you want to prepare for an interview
Mm-hmm.
or just have a mock interview for a software development engineer.
Mm-hmm.
Now there are all sorts of design questions and everything, but I just did a data structure algorithm question
Mm-hmm.
with another person,
Mm-hmm.
and you get connected to a random person. So the person I met uh, used to work. So that's how like I had applied to SAP, and
Mm-hmm.
then I networked with that guy. I interviewed. I did a mock interview with that guy. That guy liked my interview as well,
Mm-hmm.
and later I followed up just as just to get advice of how to succeed in the career and stuff like that. So so basically that's and then he helped me refer,
Mm-hmm.
helped put a referral,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that helped me get in SAP. And they here in the US the process is different than other countries. Like just like in India, what happens is that
Mm-hmm.
people normally just apply
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and just apply, and then or if they have a referral they just get in,
Mm-hmm.
right, without some sort of interview. But here in the US, you have to give an interview,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you need, even though you have a referral, you have the network.
Mm-hmm.
You have to prepare well to give to give an interview. So I gave a couple of interviews, and the manager liked it, and
Mm-hmm.
that's how I got a chance
Okay, that's
to work.
brilliant. Yes. So what you
Mhm.
mean to say is it's like you did a mock interview with some random guy, and
Yeah.
he did it like he was the person on the other side, and
Yes.
he just
Yes.
interviewed you, and in this way you get
Mhm.
to know him, and in this way you network with him. Okay, so yes,
Yes.
so
And
yeah,
mhm.
you can say.
No, and it's just like so. That's how like following up works, right? If you follow up with someone,
Mm-hmm.
just thank them, be grateful for what
Yeah.
they have helped you, right?
Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so we will be jumping to our second question. What are the points that you took in your mind while preparing for a full-time position or while job searching for a full-time position? And what are the key points that you took from your internship at SAP?
uh, so more than the internship at SAP, like the skills I learned,
Mm-hmm.
the internship search process for more was more helpful in finding a full-time opportunity,
Mm-hmm.
because I didn't do the mistakes that I did during the full-time search. And the thing is that
Mm-hmm.
we also have like, so it is relatively easier to get full-time calls,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because then the company can sponsor you and let you work for more number of years,
Mm-hmm.
so they prefer that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the number of internship positions are also less,
Mm-hmm.
but the number of job opportunities here for full-time software developers is much much more than number of internships that they open,
Okay.
right? So what I learned from the other, so I followed the process same as I did earlier,
Mm-hmm.
applying online and
Mm-hmm.
stuff. But this time I used my referrals wisely,
Mm-hmm.
like all the people that I knew and all the network that I had,
Mm-hmm.
and I used them earlier
Mm-hmm.
so that I could. And meanwhile, I was not getting any calls.
Mm-hmm.
I prepared. I kept on preparing well. So I used to study data. I used to study for competitive coding,
Mm-hmm.
and every day
Mm-hmm.
for like 2-3 hours
Mm-hmm.
minimum, and and then go and then yeah, just to be patient about it. That I had seen that okay, it takes a long time.
Mm-hmm.
As in, I started in for my internship search in October 2017, and I got it in like around April. So that's a long wait,
Mm-hmm.
right? But then in the meantime, during that internship search, I learned this thing that it's okay to not get any opportunity till the very end. but you have to be very patient and not stop working. So persistence is the key here,
Yeah.
and that's what kept me going. And now I was prepared for full time search, so I had this in mind that okay, even if I don't get calls till the end of my graduation,
Mm-hmm.
it would be fine, because that's how it goes normally,
Mm-hmm.
right? That it takes time for companies to process lots of applications.
Mm-hmm.
And then I used to, like, what I tried is I found another internship as well, which I'm doing part time,
Mm-hmm.
which
That's good.
helps me build my skills
Mm-hmm.
alongside my search for full time.
Mm-hmm.
And and that's what I uh, that's what I thought, that if I have good skills and a good resume,
Mm-hmm.
and along with that some very good practice, when I get an interview I will be able to crack it. And then eventually I got an interview from the big four,
Mm-hmm.
the top four tech companies, and then I was able to get into one of them.
Yeah. Congratulations on
Yeah.
that part.
So
Yeah.
thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks. So that's how my intern. So everything that I learned in my internship search,
Mm-hmm.
uh, was that the internship search was the hardest part,
Mm-hmm.
and then full time search was relatively easier. So if you're planning as an international,
Yes, you have gone through all the process, like the 2 years of college and the job hunting such. So you know what are the things that need to be prioritized before coming over there. So what an individual should keep in mind before going to America. So whether it's the AI thing that he need to prepare, or whether it's a data structure, or whether it's the software skills like Java and all these things, the full stack thing. So can you prioritize the whole thing for us?
yeah. So all these things, like, so in terms of skill, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let me give you just my example and how it changed my perspective after coming here.
Mm-hmm.
So earlier when I was in India, there is like, so nowadays there is this hype in, I would say, in India, where everyone wants to do machine learning
Mm-hmm.
and data science.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, I would say it is very easy
Mm-hmm.
to do it, to go through a course
Mm-hmm.
that is available online that
Mm-hmm.
teaches you the basics of machine learning and implement it,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes.
But it is very hard for that model to scale,
Mm-hmm.
to make it available when there are millions of users.
Okay.
Now, if you look at it, this is the software engineering problem and not a machine learning problem, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what I have seen in most of the undergrads in India is that in the third year, like even I did the same thing. In the third year, they try to do machine learning.
Mm-hmm.
It's good, but they don't get into the depth of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they don't get into how it works,
Okay.
right? Everyone just wants the mod, like their uh, their articles on Medium so that they can be famous,
Okay.
and they keep on doing the same thing again and again
Mm-hmm.
that everyone else does, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I would say, if you are doing a project in your undergrad and trying to come here,
Mm-hmm.
make sure it, whatever the focus be,
Mm-hmm.
whatever your data science skills or whatever machine learning skills that you want to learn, or but before that, make sure whatever you are doing,
Mm-hmm.
you do it in depth.
Yeah.
And when we come to in depth, right?
Mm-hmm.
Data structure and algorithms are the fundamentals of how a computer works,
Mm-hmm.
right? Of how
Yes.
we store computer and how we solve a problem.
Mm-hmm.
So before even solving a problem and thinking about, okay, how would we do it with ML,
Mm-hmm.
think about how would we do it with normal software engineering approach.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure most times there would be approaches that work very well
Mm-hmm.
with software engineering,
Mm-hmm.
right? That is normal, your data structure and algorithms.
Yeah.
Is competitive coding
Mm-hmm.
mostly. What
Mm-hmm.
competitive coding enables you is to learn, like, to apply this data structure and algorithm,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes.
And then when you see a similar kind of problem, you are able to see, okay, I solved this particular problem
Mm-hmm.
on some website
Mm-hmm.
during my competitive coding
Mm-hmm.
practice, and then you are able to take that experience and apply, right?
Yes.
And anyone who is coming in, I would say, make sure you know what a time complexity is.
Mm-hmm.
because most people don't care about it, and most ML algorithms don't care about it because ML algorithms are more data based than process based, right?
Correct.
So it's not, I wouldn't say it's wrong to do ML or AI. It's a very good skill to have in
Mm-hmm.
your pocket, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's just like one of the feathers of the hat, but not the hat itself,
Oh,
right?
yes.
So the hat is the hat, I would say, is the software engineering part,
Mm-hmm.
where if you don't understand how data structure work or how algorithms are implemented,
Mm-hmm.
you won't be able to build scalable machine learning systems,
Mm-hmm.
right? And for being a data scientist,
Mm-hmm.
you need to be able to leverage that, and this comes from experience.
Mm-hmm.
So most of the data science jobs, so most people that I meet, even I, when I came here, I was looking for doing data science, but then I realized this thing earlier
Mm-hmm.
during one of my projects,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, okay, if I were to scale this for a million people, how would it scale?
Mm-hmm.
And then I was left clueless, and I was like, okay, I don't have any experience professionally.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just go.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just go and learn the software engineering skills first for a couple of years or more, and then maybe get back into the data science field, right? Because then I will be a more productive productive person as a data scientist,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And one more thing I would suggest someone who coming from countries like India would be that please understand and like understand everything in depth, whatever you are doing.
Mm-hmm.
Using a tool, knowing what TensorFlow doesn't help you unless you know how it works,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because that's just the top layer that you are seeing,
Mm-hmm.
and any student,
Mm-hmm.
even a 5-year-old kid can
Do
look
the
up a
same.
YouTube tutorial and do it,
Mm-hmm.
right? So make yourself different from everyone,
Mm-hmm.
right? In a way that try to look at things as a problem
Mm-hmm.
and not in perspective of what tools you would use to solve it,
Yes.
right? That would help you solve the problem better and not just brag about your skills that okay, you did something using a CNN or
Mm-hmm.
an RNN, right?
Yes. Yes, you answered it very well. I must say
Yeah.
that. What is the toughest challenge that you have faced during your stay in America, and how did you overcome that one?
Okay, so personally, when I came to the US, I hadn't stayed away from family,
Mm-hmm.
so that was one of the challenges. And then with that, during my first, and I was new to this education system,
Mm-hmm.
so I found it like
Mm-hmm.
found found it a bit different than what we have,
Mm-hmm.
right? So the preparation for the test and everything was different, and turns out I ended up taking very very hard courses which I
Mm-hmm.
should not have done,
Okay.
and due to that my result had affected a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and I was put into academic probation because of my low GPA. So it was tough.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also had to find an internship. So I had like these three things going in. And the rule for academic probation was that if I don't get my GPA in the next semester above 3,
Mm-hmm.
then I could have been deported.
Okay.
Right? It was that serious.
Mm-hmm.
So that was one of the challenge, and how I over how I overcame is that first thing was that I believed in myself
Mm-hmm.
that I would be able to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Second, I did everything quite logically about it
Mm-hmm.
and thinking the practicality of it. So in the next semester, I took easy courses,
Mm-hmm.
as in relatively easy courses. And meanwhile, uh, I was also practicing, that competitive coding skills
Mm-hmm.
which I needed to improve in order to get an internship.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was actively looking for internship. I was trying to, so it's like, you have to juggle multiple balls
Mm-hmm.
at a time, right? In a way. that was my first experience of like handling way more responsibility than I was used to when I was in India,
Mhm.
right? Because everything here, when you come here, you have to struggle a bit because of the courses, and the education
Mhm.
structure is quite different. So you have to work hard
Mhm.
from day one, rather than just coming into the exam week and then reading about it,
Mhm.
because that won't work here.
Mhm.
So that was the struggle, and then the best way I would say to overcome it was that be adaptive about it. So
Mhm.
I was being adaptive about it. That is, whatever situations change, I tried to adapt myself
Mhm.
accordingly,
Mhm.
and not lose persistence and hope,
Mhm.
even with the internship search and the result of academics.
Mhm.
And then I was also not I was also not reluctant to try out new things
Mhm.
in terms of approach for finding an internship.
Mhm.
And that's how I would say, like, that is what made the difference for me, in my opinion, that everyone was trying the old conventional way, and then I tried actually something different that
Mhm.
no one else was doing, even. And then I kept helping others.
Mhm.
So if I got to know something new about an approach or anything
Mhm.
else, I used to share it with my friends,
Mhm.
right? And that helped me gain their insights as well.
Mhm.
And some of very good friends who uh,
Mhm.
supported me during this tough or period of I would say character building period,
Mhm.
right? And that helped me a lot, and I kept learning basically from every single situation that I was put in,
Mhm.
and that's how I think I overcame it better. And I still practice the same thing. That is, one is be adaptive about it,
Mhm.
adaptive about whatever situation you are in. Then second is there always be discomfort, always be comfortable in discomfort. So try doing things that don't make you feel comfortable, because once we go into the box of comfort in our skills, right,
Mhm.
you, we would stop, like we would start getting lazy and stop learning,
Yes, exactly.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's one more thing I have built in my nature.
Mhm.
And third would be, make sure that you have some good friends,
Mhm.
right? You realize you realize the potential of having good friends, because they support you at times when you don't expect them to,
Mhm.
because even they are busy, but they take out time for you. So that helped me a lot.
Mhm.
And fourth is, whomever you try to know,
Mhm.
or whomever you connect with
Mhm.
in terms of network, make
Mhm.
sure you make sure you at least, like, try to reach out to them in a while, like 2 or 3 months,
Yes, yes.
just asking about it need not be about purpose,
Mhm.
right, or wanting something from them, but it's always good to know people and then just forget them, and then in what I would say is, it's much better to know them, like, stay connected with them in terms of, okay, hi, how are you doing, how's everything going with you, every 2 3 months.
Mhm.
Not overdo it, but it is necessary to just keep the connection strong, right?
Yes, I strongly and
and
firmly believe in that.
and be grateful to whoever helps you,
Yes.
right? Because when you come
Mhm.
to a new country, there will be a lot of people that would
Mhm.
be helping you out,
Yes,
whom you
absolutely.
might have not even known before,
Yes.
right? And there is going to be struggle, yes.
Yes.
So it's not going to be that easy, I would say,
Mhm.
because the education structure is much more different here
Mhm.
than what we have.
Mhm.
And it will only, and then keep an open mind. So I kept my mind very open to various possibilities
Mhm.
of what I can do, right? And then if I am into one problem, then I change my perspective about it.
Mhm.
Being able to do that, sometimes a complex problem turns very very different and
Mhm.
very very simple,
Yes.
right? So that's how I overcame my problem with the academics and internship. And then at the end of the summer
Mhm.
semester, during like at the start of my summer semester, I was able to get the GPA needed, and I was also able to get my internship. So at a very good company. So that is, I would say sometimes there are a lot of random variables that play,
Mm-hmm.
right? But then for those random variables to play in your favor,
Mm-hmm.
you need to work. You need to work towards it also,
Yes,
right?
yes, absolutely.
And not follow what everyone else does, right?
So yes, you answered your questions very honestly. I must say that
Hmm.
the people
Yeah,
who will be watching it must have noticed that you have answered it really well, and you have used the phrases quite really well, and
yeah.
your story is inspirational. So
Thank you.
even
I
if
wouldn't say inspirational because even I am learning still. So
no, the attitude
I
toward
try to
the
help out.
life
I
is
try to help out everyone.
yes,
I
yes,
try to help out whoever, like whenever they need
yes,
or whatever little I can, right?
absolutely.
Because it makes me happier that people progress in their
So
lives and not like stuck in a
tech need
particular
people like
place.
you, yes,
Yeah.
that are really helpful toward other people and must be able
Mhm.
to share what they have gained over the period. So that's really
Yeah.
important.
No, that is
And
one skill. That is one good quality that I've learned from my parents and my grandfather,
yeah.
and that's what I like. I bestow them like that. Okay, yeah, they have helped me a lot and supported me to
Hmm.
come here and during even the tough times. So that would be good as well. Yeah.
But taking all these things in mind, I would be
Mhm.
ending the video over here. So
Yeah,
thanks,
and
Yash.
keep doing this thing, like keep doing this, keep doing this thing more often. You
Mhm.
know, like
Yeah.
talking to people so that, and also sharing those question like the problem solutions and stuff.
Mhm.
And I like the way you are doing it, as in talking to people and then also sharing the competitive coding solutions. So
Mhm.
this is what I see different in your channel than anyone else's.
Thanks, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.